There's something you've been feeling for a long time, but you've never been able to name it. It's not stress. It's not anxiety. It's something deeper. A silent heaviness in your chest, a tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. It's the weight of everything you've allowed. All the times you bowed your head. All the moments you swallowed your truth to keep the peace. And now you think it's normal. You've been told, be good, be understanding, be patient. But that was a lie. You became an emotional sponge, the easy target, the one who silently carried what others couldn't face. And worst of all, you began to question your own worth. But Carl Jung saw this. Long before psychology became trendy, he warned us, what you do not confront stays within you and rots. This isn't a comfortable video. It's not meant to soothe you. It's meant to wake you up. Today, you will see the 7 unacceptable behaviors Jung warned us never to tolerate. Not because they're immoral, but because they are a direct threat to your soul. Covert emotional manipulation. It doesn't arrive shouting. It arrives gently, wrapped in concern. I'm saying this for your own good. If you loved me, you'd do this. You're being too sensitive. Suddenly, you start to doubt not just them, but yourself. Manipulators don't force you. They make you question your own judgment. Jung understood people will go to absurd lengths to avoid confronting their own soul. So instead, they try to shape yours. This kind of manipulation doesn't look violent. It doesn't look cruel. In fact, it often looks like love. It masquerades as protection. It appears in relationships that are supposed to feel safe. But slowly, it chips away at your ability to trust yourself. The most dangerous manipulations are the ones that leave no marks, no bruises, just confusion. Humiliation disguised as humor. When manipulation isn't enough, they move to public mockery. But they do it with a smile. It was just a joke. You're too serious. Everyone laughs, except you. And yet, you laugh too. Because if you don't, you're the problem. You're the one who can't take a joke. Jung warned, the unconscious does not differentiate between play and reality. Repeated mockery becomes embedded trauma. Think about it. If the person hurting you is also the one laughing and everyone else is joining in, it becomes impossible to feel safe. What was supposed to be playful now becomes psychological humiliation. This is how cruelty hides in plain sight. Gaslighting, psychological erosion. It starts with denial, then minimization, then full-blown distortion. That never happened. You're imagining things. You're always dramatic. Gaslighting doesn't just confuse you. It rewires you. You begin to distrust your own memory, your intuition, your truth. Jung called this internal betrayal, the moment your mind turns against itself. It's one of the most severe psychological damages a person can experience, because it not only changes how you relate to others, It changes how you relate to yourself. When you don't even know if you can believe your own thoughts, you become dependent, obedient, controllable. Systematic emotional invalidation. You speak your truth, and they dismiss it. Why do you always bring this up? You're overreacting. You're making this a big deal. So you shrink. You stop expressing. You learn to suffer quietly so others don't feel uncomfortable. But emotions don't vanish. They rot. They return as rage, sadness, insomnia, disconnection. Jung said, "What is not brought to consciousness returns as fate." Every time you suppress an emotion to please someone else, you dig a grave for your authenticity. And one day, you'll wake up and not recognize the person in the mirror. Silent contempt. No yelling. No insults. Just the cold shoulder. The ignored messages. The blank stares. The empty silence. And somehow, that hurts more than words. Because they're not just ignoring your words. They're erasing your existence. You begin to wonder if you matter at all. That's not peace. That's psychological warfare. Jung believed that contempt is the surest sign of a dead connection. It's not a phase. It's not moodiness. It's erasure. And it can damage your sense of being. Conditional acceptance. Love, that only shows up when you're agreeable. Support, that disappears when you say no. Kindness, that demands repayment. Why can't you just do this one thing after everything I've done for you? This isn't love. This is emotional debt collection. You don't exist as a person, just as a source of validation. Jung believed true connection only exists between whole individuals, not puppets tied to approval. When love is a transaction, it turns intimacy into performance. And performance always leads to burnout. Self-abandonment, the final blow. After tolerating all of the above, you stop defending your truth. You begin joining in on the very harm you hate. You say, "It's not that bad." You laugh when it hurts. You comfort those who break you. And at that point, it's no longer them. It's you. You've abandoned yourself. Jung warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life. And you will call it fate. When you abandon yourself, you hand your story to someone else. You stop being the author of your own life. These behaviors, they may not shout, but they whisper long enough to make you forget who you are. But now you see them. And once you see, you can no longer unsee. This is your turning point. You're not here for comfort. You're here for clarity. You're here to say, enough, not just to others, but to the parts of you that stayed silent for too long. So ask yourself, which of these behaviors have you tolerated? And which have you unknowingly passed on? You are not weak for being affected, but you are powerful for choosing to stop. Because, as Carl Jung reminds us, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are.